Welcome to the world united. Welcome to the world united.
Yeah, so our first speaker for today is Robert Clancy. Robert is a creative visionary. He's a #1 international best-selling author and spiritual teacher. At the age 19, Robert had a divine spiritual encounter and altered his life in profound ways. In 2012, he created the Robert Clancy Guide to the Soul Facebook fan page, where he shares his inspirational thoughts, now followed by nearly 1 million people worldwide. He's a sought after speaker, presenter, and guest. He's also co host and producer of the Mindset Reset TV show. Robert is also a regular contributor and weekly guest on the Los Angeles based syndicated late night health radio show. His latest two books, The Messenger and the Soul, and Ciphers, both quickly became a #1 international bestseller among these releases. Robert is also the 6th degree black belt master martial arts instructor. Thank you, Robert, for being our first speaker. And your topic for today is harnessing the power of positive social influence. Over to you, Robert.
So welcome once again, best wishes. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much. It's a total pleasure to be here. And good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, because I'm in the West Coast. I moved from New York to California, so I'm in southern sunny California today, and it is morning. I want to talk a little bit about harnessing the power of positive social influence. And it was back in 2012. I started my Facebook page. I had 111 fans connected to that, which were just family and friends. And I just started this thing. And I set a goal that morning. I said, I'm going to try to write one inspirational, original thought every day or every week for a year. And I thought that would be too easy. So I went every day. And I actually did it for 4 straight years without missing a day. And I started putting out just messages, whatever came to me. I would meditate in the morning. I would do a blessing, gratitudes, and then these words would come into me and I just started posting them. And everything that has happened, not only to me, but out there in the world from this came from just making that positive change in myself to share with others. We all have a voice, you have a voice, and everybody has a unique perspective to bring something to the world. And I wouldn't trade anything for what has come out of this. I've had people contact me that said that they were planning on committing suicide that morning, and they saw my post come up in their Facebook feed and they changed their mind. I've gotten profound messages from this, and we can all make this huge, amazing difference in the world. So I'm going to share screen here. I got to get to I got some slides here that'll keep us on track and keep me to my format. So what is influence? Influence is really, it's this effect on somebody else where you can affect their behavior. And you can do that in a negative way or a positive way. And what we're talking about today is doing it in a positive way. So positive influence is, if you take it to the next level, it's the capacity to have profound enlightening impact on the world around you and the world itself. This conference and what you're doing today in the 7 continents and all these amazing speakers is bringing that positive influence into the world. So I want to talk a little bit about, how do you do this? And, one thing that I did when I started my page was really, I started with a consistent voice, whatever it was, my topic and what I want to bring to the world, and my heart, my head and my heart was shaped around that. And being consistent for that, they were expecting the post at a certain time, maybe. There was a look and feel to each of the posts, and you can rebrand at any time, but be consistent. If you just have things all over the place and they're all disjointed, it creates a little bit of disruption in how people are going to receive the information. I have over 30 years of marketing experience, so I bring that into it. So that's why we have the media panel today. The other part is be original and authentic to yourself. Don't try to be someone else. Don't try to be another voice. You can write your own messages, but you can also look at the masters and enlighten people who have had these amazing quotes or different messages out there, but have your take on that. They were written, I look at them almost like branches on a tree, and there's flowers that come off of these words. So when you read the words of amazing enlightened beings out there that have put these out over the centuries, take that and then what's your take on what are they giving you, and how are you receiving that? And then how can you bring that to someone else? The other is about creating community around what you have. And when you have a community, interact with them. It's not just a one-sided street where you're just pushing messages out. You need to have interaction with those that are interacting with you. Every person that's ever contacted me that said, can you pray for me today? I have responded to that person, and I do actually do the prayer, and I respond back to them. That's community. That's things that are going on behind the scenes on my page that you may never see. You may just see the front door, but there's a whole house behind that. And the other is connect with other symbiotic influencers, people that have like-minded, and you'll find these amazing people. Like I've had, there's been groups that have contacted me. I'm part of the Evolutionary Business Council. We had Teresa de Garbois. We have everybody that's on this panel, is from the EBC or connected to it. So, and they found me through my page. And what's come out of this? What did I get from creating this? I have 5 books. 3 are international bestsellers. 3 are #1 international bestsellers on Amazon. And then I developed this platform called Spiral Share, which I help others bring their messages out. So if you have a book or something like that, it helps connect the power of that positive influence, where you have these symbiotic influencers sharing your message out in their own voice to their tribes, to their people, to who they're connected to. And that's really the key to all of this, is getting the message out and working together as one. And this conference is a perfect example of how everyone has come together in a common thread under this whole thing to bring some peace and enlightenment to the world. So what is an influencer? It's any person that's recognized by their audience as an authority in a niche. And you could be an influencer at your kitchen table. You can be an influencer to millions of people worldwide. So there's all different levels, but it's somebody that is tuned into what you're saying in some way. They're trusted. They actively engage with whoever it is. So, if you think of the kitchen table and you've got the 4 people around you, that's part of it. And you can influence them in their purchasing decisions and what they're going to eat that day and different things like that. But you can also take this to the next level and bring positive message to the world. And the key thing is, you don't have to have a huge following to be an influencer. All you need are the certain people that are tuned into your message. And if it's a positive message and you're making positive change in their life and they're tuned into whatever that is, you have incredible power with that to create something even bigger and more positive through them, because they're going to then share it out. It's geometric. I look at it, if you think of raindrops hitting the water, the ripples go out. And the ripples go out until they touch another shoreline, or they interact and cross over into each other. That's really what this is about. It's about sharing all of those things out. So I'm going to go down here. So the next part is, as I said, it's family, friends, friends of friends, because after you interact with a friend and you've influenced them, they're going to talk to somebody else that they know. There's business contacts, there's your email list, and of course, famous people. They have incredible influence over those that are tuned into them, or fans and things like that. So, there's all different levels. So the big question is, are you an influencer? Well, of course you are. It's not the number of fans, it's about making positive change. And like I said, I started my page at 111 fans on there that day, which were just my friends and family. And then, it grew from there. And you think about, the influence that you have and making that positive change. So I'm going to go through these things. So the other part is get, noticed and get supported. And through these groups that I'm in, like the Evolutionary Business Council, the Wellness Universe, there's iAwesome, which Aisha is also a speaker on here. All of these people have come together, and through my page, I've actually met all of these people. If I had not started posting those things, I would not be in those groups and doing the things I'm doing today. And how do you do this? The best way to do this is to support them. When you give, you receive. The act of giving is the act of receiving. So go out and support others who have like-minded messages with you. Also, you can use crowd speaking, which is what the platform that I developed, the Spiral Share. is about like-minded influential individuals sharing common messages and things. So Sam, who's on here today, Sam Leibowitz, has an amazing best-selling book, and he used crowd speaking to get that out, using like-minded people to share his message. And he's got a #1 best-selling book, and it's a international best-selling book, almost #1. We're going to get there. He's working on it. He'll talk a little bit about that. But what can it be used for? It's promoting events, books, campaigns, things like that. But what we're talking about today is promoting positive message. And really, when you can use crowd speaking for positivity in the world, there is nothing greater than that, when you can share what's in your head and your heart and bring it to the world through those things. And, social media has that ability. It's about, when you're writing copy for this, it's about keeping it concise. On platforms, okay, so we're using social media. So now I'm going to get a little bit technical with this. If you're on Facebook, for instance, if you use words like buy, sale, or even pills, like you could say love is the best drug. By chance of having that word drug in there, Facebook might downgrade your post's reach. So your positive message doesn't go as wide because you've used what they consider a spam word. Or buy into love, and they're going to think you're selling something. So that post may be seen by 30 to 50 to 75% less people in your audience feeds. So really, it's about shaping the copy around that and being cognizant of what you're writing and how it's being written. And you can still write what you have. Just keep in mind that it may not be seen by as many people. That's where crowd speaking comes in, and using like-minded individuals to add a little harness to that and pull it up, because when other people can share that message, it's going to get to a wider reach. I like to use trackable hashtags. So my book had a unique one with Soul Cypher's book. That way I can see who's sharing my message. And the more unique that your hashtag is, you can track that much better. And it works on all platforms. LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook all have hashtags now. And consider the different audiences. There's not only in here, we have 7 continents. There's worldwide audience today. And then you have holistic or corporate. You've got different levels within that. And really, what is yours within that group? So it takes time to build up your network. Be patient with it, and just be consistent. When I started, I just kept going, and pushing out the messages. So if it got seen by one person, in my heart, I felt that one person that read that message was the right person for that message. If it got seen by 1 million people, great, 1 million people needed that message. I trusted the message, and I trusted what I was doing, and I didn't really care about the reach in that sense of, oh my God, I'm doing horrible, nobody saw that message today. The right person saw that message. So trust in yourself in those things. Now I'm getting into a little bit of influence. We had an expert speaker. It's Teresa Degerbois from the Evolutionary Business Council. Pick up her book. This is not my area. I read her book and used some of those things for influential connections and people. She's a master at that. She's the 6th-degree black belt in influence. So pick up her book, and you can go to massinfluencethebook.com. And I won't pretend that I know everything about that, but I do know enough to be dangerous. And think about reciprocity. So it's about the exchange of giving back, in that sense of, when you connect with these influencers, it's about giving back to them. So I had Dr. Nandy, and I had reviewed his book, and I just did it because it was a great book, and I tagged him and put it up there. Ended up being on his show. So he started tuning into my positive message and said, you know what, we should have you on the show. And I did an interview on national television for that. And I've connected with other people and created our show, so you can co-create and collaborate, and just be yourself. Know that you have a message that's worthy of being seen in the world, and you can create new opportunities. So I met Dr. Joe Vitale, and we had him on our show, and then I ended up being in a movie with him, and he shared my message. We had, became friends after. So if you're sharing like-minded and symbiotic posts, you're gonna make these connections. And great places to do that: Evolutionary Business Council that I mentioned. There's the Wellness Universe. There's volunteer groups like Hugh O'Brien Youth Leadership and I Awesome are just to name a few. And these are some of their addresses. You can connect and look into that platform. And these are basically where I've ended up just from posting those positive messages. I've been on all different media outlets around the world, and I've never picked up the phone once. They found me, or introductions from other mutual bonds and things like that. So I'm just going to jump up here, just give you, just because I talked about Spiral Share, it creates this marketing page, and this is really what that platform looks like. And I do have a special code, so we can put that out for everybody. But if you grab it, you can go to spiralshare.com and learn more about the platform. I'm just going to get out of the sharing here for a moment. And, you know, it's just really been a pleasure to be here today. And it's short, 15 minutes is not a whole lot to get into all of this stuff, but what an honor. And I hope that I've enlightened you in some way to bring your message to the world. And I just truly, truly appreciate everyone with all my heart. And I'll just share one of my positive words to close out. And it's one of my favorite ones that came into me. It's love has no walls, thus it cannot be conquered. Love has no boundaries, thus it is always open. And love has no limits, thus it has no end. So just love. Love who you are and love what you bring to the world. Thank you so much.
Love is the mark of venerable enlightenment. Thank you very much. Thank you, Robert Clancy. Yeah. So here is a wonderful token of appreciation from our side. The World United proudly presents Robert Clancy for being an esteemed presenter in the World Parliament on Spirituality, 3rd edition, North America chapter. Thank you very much, Robert. Stay